right, what's going on, everybody? We are here today with some good friends of ours, Melissa and AJ. They live out here in the East Bay in the California area with us. We actually met them a few years ago at California's Bug Bash. They were parked right next to one of our other good friends, Casey, and we hit it off pretty well, and we've been pretty close ever since. So, Melissa, AJ, welcome.
Hey.
How's it going?
So we
Again?
So we seen that you were working on a squareback, right? What year was that? And I heard the motor running the other day, right?
Yes. So she's a 64, but she was built in December 20th, 1963. So there's like a little tiny little things that she has 63 of her is. So we finally got her running, thank goodness. We were kind of worried because always removing engines, they always get temperamental and don't like to be put back in. So but yeah, so she's running. We do have to maintain a little bit, changing, like, carburetors a little bit need to be adjusted. She backfires a little bit once in a while. So we're
That's okay.
that out now.
It's all part of it.
Nice.
It's always fun.
Right on, right on. So what do you have behind you? You have a couple cars behind you.
So right here is my 1974. That was the first car I ever I bought. I've had her since 2005. For my 18th birthday, my grandmother gave me $2,500 to put in a CD, which I kind of did not. A guy around our corner always kept on pushing this car out and always had a for sale sign on it, but he was asking, I thought, too much for it. So when I got the money for my 18th birthday, I went to him and told him, hey, I have this much money. Would you be interested? And he did. I bought it from him. I kind of knew how to drive stick then, but not really. So he kind of drove me around in it, kind of taught me how to drive a stick in it. So when I got her, she needed some love. Her paint was kind of nasty, I guess what you want to call it. So I got it painted at Miracle Auto Body in Walnut Creek.
There we go. Nice.
That was, what, $1,500?
Yep.
And she still looks pretty good for a single stick. Two-tone too. So she's my pride and joy. But after her was my 59, which is not here. She's being stubborn. The brakes kind of seized up on her and she didn't want to come off the lift. So she's up in, I don't know. Resting. Quarantine still.
Quarantine. That's great.
So,
I recognize the one.
Want to come off the lift. Did you hear that? The lift.
The lift, yeah.
That must be nice.
You are so spoiled. And that lift, I assume, is in that dope-ass warehouse garage back there.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Yeah. But she's...
So how many are hiding in there besides the 3 that are right next to you?
Well, there's 1, 2, 3,
5?
4. There's 5 out here.
There's 5 of them. I
Nice.
can show you. Yes.
Okay, double cab. The Westie.
Westie?
There's Westie. Yep. Oh, I recognize that blue one.
Yes.
That's the one that left you in the dust.
That's the one that cut me off.
Hey.
So for those of you that probably don't know, there's a little story. So I actually met Melissa and AJ first, and we became pretty good friends right away. And then Caesar met him last year on the Truffin, the West Coast Truffin from Canada to Mexico. We decided to meet up with them in was it Marin? Right, it was just north of the Golden Gate Bridge, and they got tied up with some stuff, and so they couldn't meet us. But then they decided they were going to meet us halfway down the line at Ocean Beach. So once we got there, I was staying in text communication with Melissa, and I eventually texted her and I said, hey, we're just about to get on the Highway 1 in Pacifica. Meet you there. And then so Caesar was ahead of me leaving Ocean Beach, and then all of a sudden, I was ahead of you, right?
No,
Yeah.
you were behind me.
I was behind you.
Yeah.
Okay, so Caesar's rolling, and I see Melissa's blue bug, and I see Melissa and AJ sitting on the side of the road. And then a few minutes ago, she mentioned that she didn't know how to drive stick. Well, she can absolutely drive stick because she shot out of there like a friggin' NASCAR driver with that badass engine in the blue bug she has, and just skirted in there like something out of Fast and Furious. And then Caesar texted, he was like, "Who the hell was that?" And I'm like, "Don't worry, that's Melissa."
I'm still on
it was
original drum
hilarious.
brakes. You know, I'm still riding original drum brakes.
Yep.
And I see this little car dart in front of me. I'm like, oh goodness. But the sounds it was making, and it just looked awesome. I was not tripping at all. But that's how I met you guys.
Well, that was a fun drive.
It looked something right out of Fast and Furious. It was pretty cool. Talking to
Yeah.
brewery, which is an amazing spot to eat and drink.
Yeah. With all these Volkswagen shows canceling, I really hope that's one that doesn't. You know, it's a bummer. I really enjoyed Kelly Park,
Yeah.
and that got canceled because to me Kelly Park is always like that one first show of the season. There's a few smaller ones, but Kelly Park really for me just like hits it, and it's like okay, every weekend after that you pretty much have a show coming,
Yeah.
and unfortunately it didn't happen. And I'm hearing talks about. I think I saw this on your Instagram, Melissa. You post or Facebook maybe that the Bug Bash might be the first show this year or something like that.
So, yay!
I mean, that's awesome, but
Yeah, it sucks.
it does.
The
But
North
you know, we need to do it.
Which is in Concord. That was canceled. That's next month, I think it is in May.
Yeah, I think so.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we're
So-
losing a lot of shows.
So you had a Westie that you were getting worked on. Is that the one behind you, or is
Yes.
there another one?
No,
No, that's it.
that's Stella. She's
That's it. But you got it out of the garage. So what's wrong with it?
Well,
You want to see it?
I'll show you. Hang on.
Oh. Uh-oh.
The problem is that
Ah,
the engine should not be in the back of this.
Oh.
I mean,
in the car.
you know.
But, hey, it's still in a Volkswagen apparently, so we're in good shape still.
That's true.
So did you push that out, or did
Yeah.
you tow it out?
No, we pushed it.
pushed it out.
Ooh.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. And
That's
do you
pretty
need
heavy.
help getting that motor in there?
Possibly. That's heavy too.
Yeah.
Caesar and I have done it before. We did it in his.
It's Type 4.
It's
so
Type
See, with me being fun size, I could actually get in the bay, and I can get a lot of those bolts in the back.
Just curl
Yeah.
up.
So we gotta.
Oh, he's
Caesar might have
perfect.
some good pictures of me in there.
He like fits so perfect in there. It's that fun. It's right in with room to spare, if I can add.
I mean, not that much room, but you know.
Just saying.
Lay down,
But
take
yeah,
it.
man, we could if that thing's good to go, we could help you get it in there. So
Yeah.
just let us know. We're quite bored.
I'm
Yeah.
not doing anything.
She's she's my. That was because Type 4s I don't know very much about of them, so it's gonna be interesting.
Because your Westie's a 71, right, Caesar?
It's a 70.
So you saw the bug motor in it, correct?
I still have the upright. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
lucky.
Yeah. It's a 1600. When I got it, it came with a 1200. Not even the right motor. And it had this adapter right on the oil sump, like the oil pump, I should say, where the mustache handlebar bracket would attach to. But just bouncing around and being a car, it just stripped all those bolts. So it had a massive oil leak from there. And the previous owner just put a bunch of like caulking and like stuff to try to prevent it from leaking. But as soon as I saw that, I was like, this is not the right engine for this.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, I think I talked to Corey, and there might be an Air Cooled Industries video on this, but I told him, I was like, you know what, I need to change motors. This isn't going to work out. So I wanted to go with something a little bit bigger, like a 1776. Something with a little bit more power to. She's heavy. You just push one out, so it's heavy. So, I just ended up. I decided to just stick with the 1600 for now. But I got everything buttoned up. Everything's good, and she runs fine until you get to an uphill. But pretty much any Volkswagen's that way. You just gotta charge that hill straight on, and hopefully no one cuts you off. And you're good.
Yeah, it's when we drove the double cab up Ignacio, it was a battle.
What year's that double cab?
71.
Ooh, so it's the same motor then, right? Pancake? Yep. Mm.
No, that one has a bug motor.
That one has a bug motor.
Oh, okay.
It's a heavy truck. But it's so much fun to drive.
I bet.
Home Depot with it.
I remember just taking it out for just like a drive out area here, just in town. I'm just cruising along, going slow, and someone like behind me like started honking at me because like apparently wasn't going fast enough on town for him. Like whatever, just go around. Yeah. So they went around, flipped them off. So that's the one in my book.
That's the way to do it. I usually cruise around 50, 55 if my speedometer is even working. So exactly. It's usually my gas gauge. Actually, my gas gauge went out during the last Treffen. So I actually had this little book. Every time we gassed up, I would try to keep note of my mileage so I wouldn't get stuck. And Corey just made fun of that, of course. But my gas gauge was just my needle just all over the place. So am I full? Am I empty? What's going on here? So it was my sending unit. Got that done. So I think it's okay now. It doesn't bounce around.
Yeah, we had our speedometer went on the Treffen.
Yeah.
We had to unplug it.
It was and I'm like, what the hell is that? So I took off I just disconnected it. I was like, I'm not listening to that. So I took.
No, it's not fixed yet.
I didn't fix it yet, but yeah, it was annoying. It was horrible.
Wasn't your speedometer doing that, Corey? Your bugs, it kept snapping a cable, right? What was it doing?
Yeah, you know what? The bug, the cable snapped, so we had to replace it and do the whole wire from the front driver's tire up to the speedo. So we replaced that whole thing, remember, with a new one, and it worked pretty. It was much stronger. I mean, it was still wasn't totally accurate, but it wouldn't move around or dance. It stayed pretty steady. So,
Nice.
And I think
it was just an MP one, just a cheap one, and it worked out fine. So
yeah.
He's started kind of slackish on some of their stuff. Kind of notoriously braking all the time, because that was mine too.
They do that. Honestly, they tend to do that. There's like times where they're a dream to drive. Like they're just perfect. Yeah. And then out of nowhere, just one thing goes wrong, and then before you know it, another thing. And it's just a chain reaction. You're like, dude, what's going on here? And it just doesn't stop.
It's like anticipation of it's driving too good. What's wrong?
Right. Even when it is, yep, for sure.
That's always my like little thing at the Treffen is something gonna happen during this drive, and then I'm screwed. But so far for the last 3 years, it's been pretty good.
Yep. Yeah, knock on wood. This was last year was my second Treffen, and no problems besides my gas gauge. But other than that, my roof.
Oh yeah,
it almost came off.
That's right.
That almost came off. Never mind.
Right. Yeah.
It had that little cholo lean to it.
It did.
Corey sends me a pic. I'm like, dude, what am I looking at? He's like, your roof's about to fall off. I was like, what? I reach out, and it's like, doo, just bouncing. I'm like, oh, my God. So I pulled over right away. We went to, like, 2 different hardware stores. Auto stores, and they didn't have bolts or nuts. I'm like, how do you not have bolts or nuts?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on here? You're an auto shop. Whatever. So we ended up going to,
we were near Laguna Seca Raceway.
Yep.
Yes.
On Monterey or Salina,
yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Yep. Found a little hardware store and bought a whole bunch of different sizes and whatever, and found one that fit, and it's still there. haven't really fixed it.
It's not right.
She's not falling off. We'll see.
Exactly. That's all that matters.
Yeah. I go through
Yeah,
duct
that
tape a
was
lot.
funny. Forgot about that.
It's duct tape and zip ties. It's the way to do it.
Works
That's
perfect.
it.
Guys are my
Fixes
friends.
everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
But yeah, that's always a fun show though. I like that one.
Yeah.
That was the first time Corey and I camped. That's actually the first time I ever slept in my Westie. I'd never had the opportunity to, and it was great. It was comfortable, honestly. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I can't wait to go camping. But
We could do it right now. Just sleep in at night.
Yeah.
There we go. I mean, it looks like you guys got the land to do it, so why not build a little campfire out there?
with the little tent, so it comes with the tent. So I can put the
Ooh.
little tent out
Uh-huh.
and
Hold up, though. Can I come camp there? I can come, but just park and stay in the corner
Yeah, water. That's about it.
since we can't go anywhere else.
Pretty
just
much.
camp out in the
Dang.
yard.
Seriously.
But it's
Yeah, the Westie's become my office. It's where I've been working with everybody at home that's always doing the dance classes. In the different rooms, I have nowhere to go, so I turned the Westie into my home office. So I would
That
spend a
works.
lot of hours in here every day.
whatever.
So yeah, I got the TV in here, so I put a Roku device on there, and so now because I'm next to the house, I just I can have all the stuff on my regular TV in there, so it works out well.
There you go.
See,
Super
that's why.
cool.
So
He's like, nah.
so the square back. Now that the square back's running, and you're gonna obviously tweak it all out and get it running good. Is the interior good? Or is that project done?
On that car is so the back seat's fine, but the two front seats are wrong. They're incorrect. They're 65, 66, I think it was.
So they're low back?
The seat,
Yes.
yeah. So there's a guy
Keep
up in
'em.
Washington that has a pair of seats that whenever he's able to come down for a car show, he's bringing to me. So
But the seats in that year car, they're like
they're more.
they're early seat. Early,
Should be the high back, right? With
They
the
are
head
high backs,
thing?
but I think there was two high backs. There was one that was more square on top and one that was rounded.
Yeah, they're more
Mhm.
rounded.
Okay.
So the ones for that year, I think it was a 64-year only type thing, wasn't it?
Yeah. So
Or something earlier than that.
so the seats actually look like the
Like
bug,
a bug seats with the
so
rounded
they're like
backs.
rounded a little bit more. So
Right.
so we're waiting patiently, but I have the
Gotcha.
interior for the car. The headliner's done, the carpet's done. It's just the seats need to get
Door panels are all
oh.
done.
screw those freaking door panels.
Really?
Damn freaking clips.
Uh,
Those damn things.
Well, we got the wrong clips sent to us
Yeah.
for the plastic molding pieces.
Yeah, so
Mm.
plastic molding pieces,
Oh.
there's a trim piece on the top that has one type of clip, and then the rest of the interior for the trim plastic pieces is a different clip. So I've been
Oh,
ordering these
seriously?
stupid clips, and I'm like, why aren't these stupid things working? And the guy in Washington said, you've been ordering the wrong clips the whole time. So
Oh.
goodness.
so we finally got the original clips for the car, and they work great. So you guys want to see the interior?
Just check it out.
Yeah.
Bring my handy dandy laptop here.
There you go.
There we go.
Oh, let me come around the other end.
Man. Got all those beauties over there. Why don't we have a car show at your place?
Seriously. Your spot is a car show.
But these are the incorrect seats. So they're more rounded on top.
Ooh.
But they're super comfortable.
I mean, I'm okay with the incorrect seats. I like the low back.
Yeah, they're nice. They're super comfy. The dash that when I bought it was about in 3 different pieces.
Ooh.
So
Right.
a guy from
Just dash.
just Dash restored it for me, so it looks pretty good.
That looks
It does.
great.
Yeah, it's very, very nice. But it has
Wow.
push buttons, which is very apparently very early cars only had, so they're pretty hard to come by. So, but they all work too with 6 volt, which is insane.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
Yeah.
So that you kept that car. That car's originally 6 volt, and you kept it 6 volt.
No, I put it 12 volt.
Okay.
So I had to rewire the whole car to kind of 6 volt diagram, 12 volt diagram. That took me god awful way too long.
But I love
right.
your door panels though. That is sweet.
Uh-huh. I love them.
Is that like an armrest?
Yeah.
But these are aftermarket.
That is cool.
These are the ones that have the hard time. These things right here, they have to get the right. Like the front doors have a certain clip.
Uh-huh.
The ones that go on the rear have a different clip.
Oh, that's okay. Gotcha.
Okay. Man, it's beautiful interior.
So seats are going to be the same color as the lower door panel.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Red.
Nice.
There's the covering.
Yes, coverings. That's the trunk.
Yeah. That's clean back there.
But these are the stupid trim pieces that suck.
Man, I'm jealous. It's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. We got her.
Do you want to trade it for a PT Cruiser?
Sure.
They're both wagons.
Yes.
Yeah.
My goodness. All right.
Seriously.
But
Oh, there's my baby. That's my favorite right there. I love that one.
yeah, she's
That's
fun
the
to
Fast
play
and Furious mobile right there.
Yeah. This I can't drive stick shift.
And then there's
Scared the crap out of Caesar.
Westy is all original. I bought it from the original owner. So it came with
Wow.
all documentation since he bought it.
Mhm.
He traded his Ford Mustang for the Westy to go camping with his family.
Nice.
Oh, I get it open.
She doesn't
Smart
like it.
man.
But I'll open the
Wow.
Right now there's a whole bunch of parts inside. So sorry.
No, it's all good.
Your top looks like it's on right though.
It hasn't flopped off yet, but then again, it hasn't been driven on the road, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. It's got to be Treffen proven.
I wonder if I have that picture somewhere. I don't think so.
I love the double cab. That is sweet.
Thank you. Yeah, all original interior, everything.
Yeah, that's my interior.
She's a lot of fun. I can't wait to start working on her.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, gorgeous. Yeah, you can't. You got to get. We got to get that motor in there so we can roll 3 deep.
Seriously.
We could go camping.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I like the curtains you have in there. I was given cholo rags.
So, so you should see. I got.
Actually, I think your cholo regs have weed on them, right?
I got rid of all of them. Honestly, this is the only one left. Because I realized I would be driving in some sketchy areas, and I did not want to have this,
So there's a company
Oh, look at that!
that makes the original curtains.
Oh.
So they give you everything, the rollers, the clips, and everything. So
Where's this? Who is this?
Caesar needs that info.
I'm like, no. Oh, there we go. I wouldn't even want to try to pronounce how to say it. Well, fuck.
Yeah, neither do I.
There you
But,
go.
so I'm taking the original curtains out, and I'm gonna put them in storage. So because I want to keep that thing as original as possible, but I want to put the new curtains in because they're kind of the ones in the car right now are kind of crusty.
A little crunchy.
But they're so I'm putting the new ones on. But that's the company.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they're reasonable too, which I was really kind of surprised.
Sweet.
But,
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, I need to definitely work on my interior for sure. Everything's here, which I really enjoyed, but I do have an Air Cooled Industries video on it. Corey and I picked it up in Sonoma.
Clear Lake.
Clear Lake, that's right. And it sat under a tree for like 10 years. You know, it wasn't moved, and it was in a bad shape, but slowly but surely I'm bringing her back to life.
Yeah.
As long as she's driving and stopping, I'm happy.
That's all that matters.
Mhm.
all that matters.
Yep.
Especially right now.
Yeah. And my kids love it. I have the cot up here. My daughter, she claimed that right off the bat. That's my bed. And then I have the little kitty cot, the driver and passenger side.
That's my bed.
And that's Corey's bed. Nah, that's my son's bed. But we went camping once and twice. I don't know, my wife's mother instinct, just like in the middle of the night, like reached and grabbed him because he was like falling out. And I was like, how the I would have, oh, you'd fail. Sorry, you know. But yeah, I don't know. So maybe now that he's a little older, he might do a little bit better, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that cut over the steering wheel was kind of sketchy.
It is.
Yeah. It is.
It is.
In fabric, holding your child. But it's whatever. That's
I'm a
what
dad. I'm like, you can tough it up, boy.
fall out a few times, they'll learn.
Yeah.
Yep.
Grow some
Learn.
thick skin, son. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The family I got the
Hey.
wedding from had two kids, was it? That they went camping with?
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Been sitting in the garage since
96.
96. So
Wow.
it's been sitting for a while.
Year after I got out of high school.
96.
Let's see, what grade was I in? Probably elementary still.
No, maybe.
Yeah, I was in elementary school still.
96 was the first
I
year
was
I
like-
bought my first bug, actually.
Oh my god.
I bought a 66 bug with for $300.
Don't let
And
that
it was,
baby face fool you.
It was a beautiful, right? It was a beautiful patina on it, and doors didn't lock, but you know what? It started and drove, and I drove it for about 2-3 years. No oil changes, no nothing. I didn't know any better back then. So I just drove it, and eventually the motor did die, and we parked it at my wife's grandmother's house, and it sat there for 12 years, and she has a acre and a half of land up in the Hayward Hills, and it sat there just kind of on the ranch for like 12 years, and then we finally bought a house in 2008. And that house, that was our first house we bought, and it had a 3-car garage. And I was like, yes, I'm gonna go get the bug, and I'm gonna start, I'm gonna pull out the motor and get that thing rebuilt, because it was finally a time where we were like grown up and kind of established life as an adult. And then I was talked to my wife and said, hey, I'm gonna go and get the bug from Grandma's house. Can you let her know that I'm gonna bring it? I'm gonna call for like AAA to come grab it. And she's like, what bug? I'm like, what do you mean what bug? My blue bug. She was like, oh, Grandma donated it.
Oh my god.
I was like, are you serious? And I was so mad. I was so heartbroken. It was
I would
my
have been
first
like,
bug.
get a divorce paper
And I
signed.
still till this day, I just, seriously, I was like, are you serious? But yeah, 96, $300 for a running bug. That was the market then. Now
Yeah.
people see it on TV and they think their bug's worth $50,000.
That's right.
Yeah. I paid $500 for the blue car.
Did you?
100?
Something
Yep.
like that.
It was $500 for the blue car. Well, it
See,
wasn't that.
God.
It was about 6 different colors.
Looked like a harlequin.
Did it?
Harlequins.
Hey, but that was the scheme in the 90s and the 80s, though. Lots of colors on them.
It was
Lots of vertical and horizontal, like diamond triangle lines, and
that car was
With like green body,
green body,
different color fenders.
pink door, purple fender,
hey,
blue fender. One was primer, and I don't remember what the other one was.
And the throttle would get stuck, so it just drive on its own. But like it was like a modern day Tesla.
oh, dude, you had a rare cruise control model, huh?
It was
It was.
autopilot.
There you go.
Ooh,
They,
nice. There you go.
And it ran, and it was fine. It just had the sticky. But when we went and picked it up, I was like, Mom, I was so excited because I had the 74, and not a lot of people like supers, and
Hmm.
I love
Right.
supers. I don't know, but so I wanted an early one. So when I got the car, I was so ecstatic. I was like, Mom, why don't you come for a ride for me? And she saw the car, and she's like, no, I'm not riding in that car.
That's funny.
Why not? She's like, I am not going to be embarrassed in that car.
Oh, like
Wow.
that.
But, she loves it now, but she's like, that thing is such a joke. because when because my AJ told her about the sticky throttle, and she's like, "No, you're not going up in next year with that."
So what was happening was on the gas pedal, there's like a little, I don't know what it's like, a little S like hook or something like that goes in the gas pedal.
Yeah.
Where
Oh, yeah.
right past the tube. And what was happening was
It gets
the edge of that little clip was getting stuck on the edge of the tube, so it wasn't allowing the throttle to go back into the tube.
Oh, yeah.
Table. So it was getting stuck and leaving it open.
Yeah.
Come to find out.
Yeah. It was where it was completely almost rusted out. So what they did was when I bought it, they told me it was a new carpet kit and everything, and I was like, oh, that's so cool, so nice, thank you. Then we pulled it off, and then oh my god. But the luggage rack was completely gone. Where the accelerator, the gas pedal and everything, it was all pretty much just patchwork, so that was causing it to stick. So that's when I found out that it was going to be a huge project.
We called it Christine for a while because it was a mind of its own.
She still is
Nice.
still is Christine.
Love it.
Yeah.
So that car was my huge problem child. It was a battle of putting it back together.
The blue car.
Yeah, the blue car.
Yep.
When I started taking it apart and everything, so I was like, all right, this is gonna be a full restoration. So we took it all apart. We did the work and everything, and then I'm not a person that's gonna waste money getting paint and painting something wrong or incorrect. So I found a guy that was gonna paint the car for me as a side job. So I was like, oh, okay. He was in Hayward. And he rents booth space. So I dropped the car off, and it just he pretty much did not do the color that I wanted. It was gonna be anthracite gray, and it looked like baby poo diarrhea. Gross color. So
yummy.
yeah, it was delish. So I picked up the car and I said, you're done. And so I found another place to paint it the color it is right now.
There's a body shop down in South San Francisco. They did it.
ENS Collision.
It was a collision shop.
Yeah.
They did it.
Hey, you said it's a Lexus color, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a IS330 Lexus color.
Clearwater blue metallic, it's called.
It's beautiful. Beautiful in person, guys.
Yeah, when the sun hits it, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's very similar to the original Strato silver gray. Yeah. Similar to that color.
Okay.
It's that car was.
That was the hardest part with that car, is trying to, well, not obviously a lot of hard parts, but figuring out what color paint you wanted to do.
Yeah.
I would go to.
It's like a one and done thing, right? You can't really turn back the clock afterwards, so you better pick it right the first time.
And that's the first
thing with these, because you got to paint the inside and out.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was kind of worried about that. So I would go to dealerships and like look at all their cars and their colors and everything. And but we saw one of the IS drive by, and I'm like, oh, that's a nice color. And then I went to Flexus, looked at the car, and I'm like, that is a really nice color. And that was it. And it kind of went with the theme of the car, because after the guy kind of did not paint the car like how I wanted, and then I had a engine issue afterwards. It was kind of, the car was kind of on a limbo where it was actually posted for sale.
Oh wow.
I was done with it because we were going through a whole bunch of stuff. I lost my grandmother, so and then when she passed away, the car sat, and I just kind of went through like a funky time. And my mom and AJ was like, you need to get your pretty much ass out of there and get that car done. And so that's why I built it in memory of her. So everything in the car has to do with, she loved Hawaii. So I did the car as Hawaii for her. So everything, the breakwater blue, the speaker tray, I had a guy hand paint it. He did all this Hawaiian stuff on the wire cover. The speaker tray, I did all this cool like decal stuff with Hawaiian stuff in it. But it was kind of like a memory build for her. So that's why I kind of take a little bit more to her. But you can see the speaker tray.
Yep. I mean, it's a beautiful car. I absolutely love that.
But yeah, and we lost our friend Jim, and he loved Hawaii too. So I made a little ribbon for him on the side over there.
Oh, that's nice.
But these are all hand painted, everything done. I don't know how he even did that. And then I did the speaker tray, made it all like wood looking, and I put all the little decals and stuff on it. But
That
yeah,
looks great.
thank you.
Nice. And that navy blue top on that blue looks really good too.
Yeah, that was
It's a great balance.
because I didn't know what color would look good with the blue. I was debating on maybe black and some of the other colors, but I like the blue. It kind of brings it like an accent blue color, but
I think so too.
it looks good.
I love it.
But she's fun to drive.
Yeah, Caesar.
Yeah, she's fast.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely know. Yeah, it looks fun. So
Yeah.
do you have names for your cars?
Yes. So the double cab is Angie.
Okay.
The Westie is Stella. She's still waiting to get her groove back. The 74 is Baby because she's always going to be my baby.
Right.
Christine, always going to be Christine because she always gives me problems. And the squareback is Lola. And the 59 that's not here throwing a tantrum is Madeline?
Yeah,
Madeline. So
You should trade Madeline for a PT Cruiser.
I don't know.
Let it go, Corey. Let it go.
One of these days, you're gonna be so drunk, you're just gonna do it. You're like, okay, and then realize not like what happened.
None of
I'm trying. I'm trying.
you're like, what just showed up at our house?
I remember when those were popular. I think those 2000s, they were like very popular. I remember because everyone in high school wanted one, and Dyer loved those things. They're supposed to be fun.
This is actually so I traded the Dune Buggy project for the PT Cruiser. PT Cruiser did need some work. It was running and everything, but it did need a little bit of work. The previous owner just didn't care for it. But Dune Buggy project just wasn't going anywhere, and I was getting in trouble with the wife for it taking up space. And so I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna do this to sell it, and then try to get into like a Carmen Ghia or something else. And I just kind of put off the Cruiser for a while, and I got everything fixed now. It's got basically new everything on there, and it's turbo. So I actually had a chance to finally like test it, a couple weeks ago, after I got everything fixed, and it flies. I'm like surprised for a 4-cylinder. I think it goes pretty fast. It feels like the Jetta VR6 that Caesar has. He's got a Volkswagen.
Don't ever compare that thing to my car.
Hey, I'm telling you,
Never.
it feels just like it, bro. It feels just like it.
The VR6 will still blow those doors off.
If you and I race, I'd beat you.
No.
I'd beat you.
Anyways, no, it seems like a pretty cool car. I mean, I was surprised that it was a 5-speed manual and a turbo. I was like, in a PT Cruiser? Like, what?
And that's why it's a GT, so it's a 5-speed manual turbo, and it's fast. Like, I'm surprised. If you know how to drive a stick right, it's quick. If you don't, you're gonna be all over the place. But
Yeah.
That's funny. So your 74, is that where the love of the Volkswagen began for you, or did you have previous like I want a VW?
I had water cools. My first car was a '99 Cabrio
Yes.
GLX.
That's a nice car.
Yeah, GLX. I love that car.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to college, and unfortunately, where I went, Cabrio was not snow savvy, so I got a Ford Expedition. But so that I've always loved Volkswagens. My grandmother had so many Vanagons. She had 85, 86 Westphalia. And then from there she had a 88 Weekender, a 90 Weekender, and a 91 Weekender. And
wow.
ever since then, I love them. And she had a '96 Cabrio that she used for just cruising around once in a while, and
Mhm.
that's kind of when it all started. Probably before then, it was probably watching Herbie and playing with
Right.
Hot Wheel cars, but I think that was my what like thing
Yeah.
coming in my mind that I want a Volkswagen. And
Mhm.
then when I bought the '74, I was like, yeah, I need more.
Yeah.
It's a disease.
It
Uh,
is.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Herbie was like, I remember like one of my first exposures to the Beetle. And when I got married with my wife, we saved a few bucks because we wanted to buy a classic car. But I wanted to buy a Mustang. I was a V8 kind of guy, and I still am by heart.
Yeah.
But I really wanted a classic 64, 65, even a 67 Mustang. And we were looking and looking, but we couldn't find anything. Everything was either too expensive or it was
Too
a
much.
shell. They needed everything. And she just one day was like, because my wife's from Brazil, and the Volkswagen in Brazil it's the people's car. Like it's everybody has one.
Yeah.
And she's like, growing up, my dad had pretty much all Volkswagens. So I was like, all right, I can look into it. And then I found my 61, and I was like, I am in love with these things. They were fun. It's just anywhere you go, everyone's just giving you a thumbs up. They're giving you, and they're just so fun to work on. Like they're great, and I have not stopped since. And one day I'll maybe have a Mustang, but right now I really want more Volkswagens. That's it.
I always wanted a Camaro, and like
Ah,
67, 68 Camaro. That was
Mhm.
like my thing. I wanted one so bad. And then we were looking, they were just obscene amount of money,
they
and
are.
it's so much work, or they were
Mhm.
rotted out to the point where you wouldn't even want it.
Yeah,
And that's when the guy was pushing out the little '74, and that's when I
yeah.
said, that's it, we're done.
No,
But
that's cool.
she was a lot of fun though. She taught me so much.
And she's a 1600.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I left it all stock.
Mhm.
The only thing I did was just paint it, lower it, and just did some minor tuning and everything like that. The engine has never been split, never been redone, nothing. It's been just stock, and that's it. So,
How many miles?
I don't know.
Uh-huh.
The speedometer, I think, has rolled over. Um,
Okay.
the guy that I bought it from, he said his kids used it to go to school.
Mm.
So his house was pretty much maybe not even 4 miles away from their school. So I don't even know what they even thought of just driving it to school. But so they drove it back and forth to school, and that's pretty much all it did was just get pushed out of the garage, go to school, and that was it.
Yeah.
Um, but the wife was complaining about it smelling like gas in the garage, so she wanted the car gone. So
Mm.
that's when
Yeah.
I acquired her.
Which one?
74.
Oh yeah.
But the mileage, I think, is
That's when I first met Melissa when she bought that. She bought that car
Yeah.
15 years ago.
Yeah,
Were
15
you a Volkswagen guy too, or nah, not really?
No,
No.
Nah.
no. Chevy guy, that was through
My
and
friends,
through.
I had some friends in high school and stuff like that had bugs and stuff like that. They
Yeah.
used to fix up and stuff, but
You're a Chevy guy.
I was a truck guy.
I love trucks too. My
Yeah.
God.
Yeah,
Still-
we ran into you guys at the Good Guys car show, and you're there with your dad and I believe a friend, right?
That was my brother, and
Yeah.
Brother.
both my
Yeah.
brothers.
Your brother was looking for a Camaro.
Come on, yeah, one of them looking for Camaro, which he bought. He
Yeah.
has a 69 Camaro he
69
bought,
Camaro.
and then my other brother had just bought
A
a 64
Nova.
Chevelle.
Chevelle. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So I'm kind of.
We go.
The
I grew up
oddball.
with I grew up. We built a 64 Chevy pickup. My brothers and I did. So
Wow, that's cool.
My brother still has
my
it.
brother still has it.
I
Nice.
love that truck.
And then we had a 78 Chevy pickup. It was a step side. We beat the shit out of that thing. Holy cow! Everywhere, man. We used to go. It was 2-wheel drive. We used to go off roading with it.
Yeah.
It was great.
Right? Just take it.
That's it. Just on the gas, you won't get stuck.
Exactly.
Never get off.
Just up on
Right? Seriously.
I've seen all those videos of like little Baja bugs going off road with these big 4x4s.
Oh yeah.
No,
It gets stuck, and then the bug just just goes through all of it.
pull them out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love those. Cool, man. So you're a Chevy guy. I love Chevys. I love trucks, and the older trucks too. Oh, they're like the Chevy step sides.
Yeah.
Those are really nice.
So that's my brother. He has a '64 Chevy step side.
Yeah.
That's a good year.
He's had a lot of problems with that truck though. A lot of engines.
Well, he always built them too big. That was a problem.
Yeah. He gets in trouble with them.
Gets in trouble.
That's why bugs, you don't get in trouble as much.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
You only need like 100 horsepower in a bug, and you're good to go.
that is true. That's true. It's
We'll take them out. So.
yeah.
Thanks.
And I mean, the older they get, like the bugs, the older they are, it feels like you're riding inside a soda can with a motor strapped to it. You know,
Yeah.
everything's rattling. It's like you are really driving. It's cool.
Yeah,
for sure.
The 59. There used to be a car show in Monterey called Cherry's Jubilee, and that year I brought all 3 cars.
No, just 2, I think.
I brought 2 cars. The blue car and the 59, and I usually tow the 59 because it's 6-volt, 36 horsepower. It would take me probably days to get to Monterey. So
we drove it.
We drove the blue car down, and I drove in the trailer the black car, and for some reason the blue car. The guy that previously built the motor decided to fill all the oil, the oil areas he put silicone everywhere in that motor.
So sealed everything off.
So it pretty much suffocated the motor where the oil was just spewing out of the pulley. So the car started smoking like a mother. And so
that car got towed home and the black car got driven.
So the blue car got towed home and I had to drive the 59 back home, and it took us 4.5-5 hours to get home.
Cruising.
So that was
I'm surprised it made over the Seminole grade.
Oh, shut up.
Oh man.
But it was actually really fun because there's no radio in that car. It's just
wind
noise, and that's it.
Car road noise.
But it was a lot of fun. And,
I just put a stereo inside the Westie. It didn't have one. It didn't have a cut dash. It just didn't have a stereo. Yeah. And so, yeah, it was pretty lonely. I think last year, Streffen, I was wearing my AirPods and, just cruising. But it's just so nice, though, just to hear the engine and everything. I love it. It's great. Sometimes you don't even need music, No,
you don't.
No. So I totally get that.
It was nice. The 59 still has the semaphores, so that was pretty interesting. So whenever I did switch lanes or whatever, people were like, "What the hell is that?
What the hell is she doing?"
You're just like, poof.
It's got wings about ready to take off.
Exactly. Got to take off.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
But it was a lot of fun, but it just took a while. But but I can't wait to get the Westie going so that we can finish everything. So it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Quarantine's kind of happening because I'm finishing projects that I wouldn't have been able to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but it sucks though at the same time.
Yeah.
I'd like to drive, but I can't.
Yeah, Corey just messaged me earlier. He was like, "Dude, I filled up with $37." I was like, "That's awesome." And then he said, "I'm doing about 2 weeks per gallon."
I know. I'm getting like 2 weeks to the gallon right now in my cars. It's great.
Great.
It's a bummer.
Yeah, it's very interesting. We haven't been out of the house for I don't even know.
Just quick little no contact trips, stuff like that.
Yeah, like picking up batteries for the cars.
Yeah, like picking up batteries.
Right.
That's pretty much about it.
Yeah.
But it's interesting.
Yeah.
But we had time, so we got the square back done, or partially
That's
done. Almost done.
Yeah.
So we got-
Perfect.
So we're just waiting on the seats. The guy's claiming he's gonna just drive down here in May, because he has a whole bunch of parts. I guess he's delivering to a whole bunch of people. So,
Uh-huh.
and I guess one of his, I guess a fastback someone purchased. So he's thinking of just coming down in May and just dropping it all off and getting it out of his warehouse. So
Mhm.
hopefully May I'll get all the interior done, so I don't have to do it anymore. Because
Nice.
I kind of
That'll work.
figured, I thought buses were a problem and hard to work on, but Type 3s are a totally different breed.
Yeah.
They're just a pain.
it's all unique to those cars.
Yeah, and
And even by year sometimes. too.
yeah, by ears and trying to figure out how to rewire something, and then some of the clips, and then the interior, and it's just like the little tiny things. Like I would post it somewhere, and they said, "Oh, this is incorrect for your year. This is what it's supposed to be," and I'm like, "Son of a, seriously." And there's not very much literature or documents about it, so it's pretty hard. It's kind of up in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure. So, where do you normally get your parts from? Just online? Is there any stores you go to or anything like that?
So some of the parts I get from ISP, but if I want original stuff, the guy in Washington, I'll give you guys the link. He's really good. He's on the Samba. He sells original stuff.
Nice.
Like right now, the steering column's fine, but the turn signal switch missing tons of parts, and so I was trying to figure out ways to just get the parts for it.
Yeah.
And they're non-existent, so I have to buy the whole steering column again and just take it apart and just use the parts for the stupid turn signal. But
Right.
he has all original stuff, which personally I'd rather do original than aftermarket, because it'll get better.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, so your so like your headliner in there and your seat covers, who do you do that, or do you have somebody that does interior for you?
So the headliner I got done by who did I get it done by?
In the square?
In the square?
Or any of them?
In any of them? I did the square got done by Levere's.
Yep.
Because that one I can do like the double cab and the bugs because they're easy. It's just that is like a lot of material to mess up.
Yeah.
Well, I had them do it, but
So the square is just one piece?
is one piece, but how you have to like trim it and tuck it, and it goes around the back door certain way. So I was just I didn't want to mess with that one.
Right.
The one that I got 2 weeks ago I ordered from TMI was the double cab, so I'm going to be doing the double cab, which I can't wait because it has no headliner in it.
Nice.
But the bug.
Okay, so when I get I'll be picking up a project VW soon. I'm working on something, and it's gonna need a headliner and it's gonna need seat covers. So if I just bring it to you and we can play together.
Seat covers are super easy to put on. What I do is instead of using the stupid string that they have on their TMI covers, the guy that does my engine, he gave us a good idea is to put like a metal wire in it so it holds better and stays tighter. So he kind of showed us how to do it. So we put the metal line in the seat covers and we hog tie them, hog wire them in.
Hog ring, whatever you call them.
Yeah, hog ring. I don't even. But
Gotcha. Yeah.
but I let them sit out till they're pretty much super soft, and then I put them over the seats. I did the blue cars seat covers, and then when I took it to him to get some engine work done, he's like, "Oh no, you got to use the wire instead of the stupid string," because what it was doing. It was the front was fine. It's just the back was starting kind of wrinkly, so he told us to use the wire. So what we're going to do now and for on is the wire, because he said the string is stupid. So
you're gonna have to teach me that then.
Yeah. But
there we go.
Seats the best time right now is the summer because you can just let them sit out there and bake.
Right. Especially in the California sun, huh?
Yeah.
Right.
Right now it's a little overcast, but it's still good weather to put the seats out.
Yeah, it's warm.
Nice.
But but you always have to make sure that the foam and everything's correct because once you put the seat covers on, it's a pain to get them off.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
My dad's car needs a headliner too. I think I want to tackle it. I've never done one, but I've seen a few videos and
Yeah.
I got a pretty good idea, I think.
Yeah, you get the binder clips just to make sure everything's fine, and then you trim it so that it looks good, and then you glue it. Because I've seen people just go hog wild and just start gluing everything. I'm like, I wouldn't do that because then you mess it up, and then you have to rebuy it again. But I use the little binder clips, those little black ones.
That's my brother's bug right there. I was like, dude, you're better off without a headliner at this point.
Just rip it out. It's fine.
You know, dude, just get rid of it. He's got a 69. It's an orange bug. He was the first one in the family to pick one up. So yeah, he got basically right just like you, right after high school. He was like 18, 19 when he got his, and yeah, he really just he still has it. I work on it all the time though. He doesn't really like to touch his car much. Every time something goes wrong, yo, I need to come check it out, you know. And I mean, it's a bug, you know. There's only so much that can go wrong.
Sure.
But you know, yeah, the last thing I did to it was I did a carb rebuild, just changed all the internals, cleaned everything out. It was acting up. But what I was gonna say is that he got sideswipe a couple of years back, and both fenders was just kind of destroyed. But he's a body shop guy, so he was able to dolly and hammer those out. But then he was like, I'm just gonna ride it, and so he took all the fenders off and just sanded everything off, and then slapped them back on and just let the weather, take care of that. So now it was a nice car. It was a nice painted orange car. Now it's got, rusted fenders. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? But yeah, he likes it. My dad has a 65. I don't know what motor is in it. When we bought it, guy had no idea. But it's fast. It's got these. It's got 40, the 40 IDFs, the Webers. So plenty of power there. But he still runs. I told him, like, you need to upgrade your brakes, at least a disc in the front, because it's sketchy fast. Like again, you're in a soda can with 100 plus horsepower in the back. It's scary. Yeah. And then you step on the brake and everything just shakes.
I'm trying to stop, but I can't.
Exactly.
Caesar, you should tell them the story about why it wouldn't start. What you figured out after you got it to your house, and why you guys got it so cheap.
Yeah, so the guy who we bought it from picked it up, and he said he drove it a few times and just wanted to get rid of it. He was just done with it. And so we go to his house, and he's like, yeah, it should turn on, and he's cranking it. Nah, 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 nah. Nothing's happening. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm just gonna tow it. So I think we towed it home. So we towed it to the house, and because it wouldn't start, I got him like $500 off. So my pops ended up paying. He wanted like $3,500. We ended up paying like $3 or $29, something like that. And so we get to the house, and I start tinkering around. I mean, there's not much to them. There's only like 5 fuses.
Yeah.
So I start looking at all the fuses. And I see that a cable's going into the glove box. Why? I look in there, kill switch.
Oh, God.
I hit the kill switch, hit the key, and boom, fires right on. I was like, really? Like, how long did this guy have this car for? Like, he forgot he had a kill switch. Wow. And I was just like, it's insane. It's dumb. But yeah, we were able to get a couple $100 off of him because he didn't know he had a kill switch. Yeah, it's a good car though. I don't know. Maybe I'll bring it to this year's Treffen. I'll ask my dad for it so we can race, Melissa.
I don't have room for roommates though.
Oh, well,
you got it. We'll bring you a tent.
There you go.
I've camped in your Westie twice.
Yeah.
There's plenty of room. Right on. Well, guys, this thing is telling me I'm coming up to an end on what I'm allowed to record.
Okay.
So it was awesome talking to you guys. We should do this more often.
Sure.
Yes.
Any projects you guys have, honestly, Corey and I, we're available. We can help out. Let us know. We can do some heavy lifting for y'all, you know, or pushing.
Corona free since '93.
Yeah, yeah. I only drink craft beer anyway, so I'll bring that around.
Shoot. Hey.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so I mean, if you guys want to, say anything else, let us know, and
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good.
we'll be around.
We'll keep you.
We'll see you guys soon. Car show season hopefully coming up soon, and
Yes.
we got to hang out.
We should
Yes.
definitely plan some camping for the Treffen if it goes through. We should do
Yeah.
an overnight camp.
West
Yes, get that going. We'll get that going.
And thanks for having us on.
Yes.
Thanks to you guys
Absolutely.
for
Thanks for
joining.
coming out.